Welcome to another episode of the weekly roundup of crafting stuff. My name is Betsy, and this is my series where I take a look at the top crafting, gaming related things that I found on the internet. And let's get started now. First up, from the board games subreddit from user Ozark Expeditions, we've got this dice tower alternative cannon thing that just shoots dice at the wall. This looks like it would be so much fun at the table. I can already think of different ways you could kind of theme this instead of a cannon and a castle wall. My very second video on this channel was me making a dice tower from a lighthouse diorama, and this just makes me want to make something with more of a mechanism. There's always space for gimmicky little silly things like this. Continuing on Reddit in the terrain building subreddit with user IIIYT78. This is some really cool sewage terrain. It's very basic, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just very utilitarian, modular. I was just enamored with this shot. The effect is absolutely incredible, and it makes me want to do stuff like this with my Dungeons & Dragons team. It is in fact a fog machine, which I think is interesting. I've dealt with a fog machine once before, so I don't have a large sample size, but I have a hard time getting it super concentrated and like sticking around. Really curious how long this lasts, unless it's like kind of piped in somewhere. I don't know. This is really dope, and I wanted to show it off. Next up is the Mum Hammer build number 3. User expensive_height_767. Sounds like they are building a whole set of modular buildings that are in this Mum Hammer themed, which I can only imagine is Warhammer meets flowers and colors. And if you've watched any of my weekly roundups before, you know I love to shout out things that are just a little different, that take the kind of stuffy, boring, typical terrain and builds that we tend to see a lot and make them more colorful and interesting, because why not? I think we could use a little bit more color in our wargaming. Next, over on Instagram from user Algerothan, is this repulsor executioner from Warhammer 40k. If you really look carefully, you can see that all of the main panels have these unbelievable hand-painted murals on them. It's absolutely top tier craftsmanship and artistry, and I just simply needed to show this off. And last but certainly not least, I found this awesome collection of dioramas from user significant_home5736, where they've made all these little dioramas inside of spray paint cans. They're really pretty, they're really interesting. These would look really cool on a shelf. In my last weekly roundup, I showed a diorama of a skate park made on the back of a skateboard. This follows suit actually really well. And that's gonna do it for this week's roundup. And if you like crafty, nerdy dioramas, scatter terrain, consider clicking through to my channel to see some of my full-length videos. Thanks for watching.